All right, round 3 of this review for me. Second time, I had an epiphany of what this was. And when I went to release it, I realized that I also have a little bit of dyslexia. So I screwed up the name and I have to go at it again. So round 3, here we go. Hey guys, it's G from the F Word here to review A Futile and Stupid Gesture by David Wain. Now, this director had brought us Wet Hot American Summer, Wanderlust, Role Models, movies that I enjoyed. Didn't love to the moon, but I enjoyed. This is the story of Doug Kenney, the guy that brought us, along with Henry Beard, National Lampoon. Yes, that National Lampoon started as a magazine and then ended up becoming this powerhouse of comedy that redefined comedy forever. It also brought into the fold the greats, Chevy Chase, John Belushi, Bill Murray. Now, these guys were obviously famous in their own right, but when it went on to be the magazine of National Lampoon, they also did a radio hour that brought these guys in to play act these skits that Doug Kenney and his crew were putting together, which one could argue led to SNL and skit comedy. Will Forte plays Doug Kenney, Domhnall Gleeson plays Henry Beard, Joel McHale plays Chevy Chase, which I think is ironically hilarious, because for those of you who don't know about his relationship with Chevy Chase, it's not very good. However, he did do a really good job of picking up his mannerisms, even though he looks nothing like him. Doug Kenney died, okay? We all know this. And so for them to have Martin Mull play the ghost of Doug Kenney to come narrate and walk us through a lot of the behind the scenes thinking of how the National Lampoon brand came to be was at first kind of funny, but then came across a little bit lazy. And there's a running theme with this that I'm having a tough time trying to piece together. And my first go at it, it didn't click, but the second time I was driving and then it clicked and I had to redo this thing all over again because I know what this movie is now. It is a skit. It is a series of vignettes telling this story. An extra long SNL episode, if you will, just on the life of Doug Kenney. They have random actors coming in to play these legendary actors. Again, Joel McHale playing Chevy Chase, some other guy playing John Belushi, some guy playing Bill Murray, other guy playing Rodney Dangerfield at one point, all that stuff, because it's obviously leading us from where the magazine led to Animal House and Caddyshack. The reason that skit comedy thing kicked in is because when I look at the costume design, it's not there in comparison to other movies I have seen. Will Forte, who plays Douglas Kennedy, looks like he's wearing fake sideburns and a wig. Joel McHale looks like he's wearing a really bad fake wig. Everybody else looks like they're wearing fake costumes, much like you would see in an SNL skit. Now, I may be the only person that thinks this, and if I am, let me know. But the reason that that's important is because it compromises the meaning that I got out of this movie, or that I think they were trying to show us. Being a creative genius, living on the fringes of society, and having something creative there, and continuously striving for more and losing yourself in the process while alienating everybody else around you. That's kind of the thing that I got out of it that I believe they were trying to portray in who Doug Kenney actually was. But because of the nature of how it was shot, and maybe because it was trying to be too funny and too skit-ish, it sabotaged itself from hitting those serious notes. Seeing how creative genius affects a person and the people around them. But again, because of how this was done, and I couldn't get that skit comedy SNL vibe out of my head, it just didn't work for me as well as I was hoping. Because I like all the actors in here. I like Will Forte. I like Domhnall Gleeson. I like Joel McHale. I like a lot of people in this. It just didn't work. It seemed a little bit messy at times. It went really fast in the beginning, and then all of a sudden slowed down to a crawl and then picked up again. And the other thing too, Doug Kenney, even though I don't know really anything about the guy, how his personality was or anything like that, wasn't a character I wanted to root for. It didn't seem like anything was learned from this experience. It almost felt like, let him be the way he's going to be and everybody else has to evolve into him. So a lot of those notes that hit didn't hit as well. And again, when it tried to be serious, it couldn't hit that either. And even though they mentioned at one point, trying to be meta, that, oh, we know that these guys look nothing like the real comedy legends, but, you know, for the sake of whatever, we're going to do it. Again, it just seemed a little bit lazy. Not to say that I didn't like anything from this. There are some points in this that I did like. Some of the comedy did land. The chemistry between some of these characters were really good too. You felt for most of the people around, not really Doug Kenny, but you did feel really for Domhnall Gleeson, Henry Beard, and what he was trying to do when Doug Kenny was dealing with his own stuff. From a guy like myself who just comes across this stuff on Netflix, takes a look and just wants to talk about it like I'm talking to some friends of mine, it's fine. It's okay. From what I understand, there is a 2015 documentary on it, which I understand is a lot better than what this is. And I may be the only one getting that skit comedy vibe out of it. You may not get it, but that's what I got. And again, the only thing it did was to compromise and sabotage the really heavy points that we're diving deep into the character of Doug Kenny. Because I love me some National Lampoon, and this was really interesting from the synopsis. It just didn't land as well, but it might land for you. I wouldn't say it's a complete waste of your time. I just think that this could have been done a little bit better. If you're coming across Netflix or if you see it, it's not gonna ruin your night. You're gonna walk away. You probably won't remember it, but it won't affect you one way or another. It hasn't really affected me one way or another. So, A Futile and Stupid Gesture. Have you seen it? Let me know if you have. Again, did you get the same vibe that I did, or did you see more into it that I couldn't pick up? And if you did, let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Anyways, guys, that's my quick review. You can find me on Twitter at the FWordsG. You can email us at thefwordpodcast@gmail.com. Make sure you're following Entertain Facts. And until next time, I'm G, and I'm out.